Perfect.
Good afternoon, Warriors, and welcome back to another episode of No One Actually Watches This in Warrior Block.
WHTV is what you meant to say.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, Catherine. I've just been kind of down lately.
Well, yes, you are sitting down as we speak.
No, not as cheerful as I usually am.
You come in this class every day and yell at everyone.
Well, sorry. Maybe I need something to cheer me up.
Well, we've got a story just for you. A feature on Allie Russell.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Cheerleaders and dancers from across the United States under the direction of Buffy Doyon and Jeff Brewster. Please welcome the Varsity Spirit Performance Team.
On Friday, November 30th, Winnicott sophomore Allie Russell marched in the Varsity Spirit Spectacular Parade in Disney's Magic Kingdom. The Varsity Spirit Parade is an invitational event for high school cheer captains through the Universal Cheerleaders Association to march in a parade with choreographed cheers and dances. We talked to Allie to get all the details of her trip.
At cheer camp this summer, they had a bunch of clinics and stuff for the captains of the team. And then at the end of camp, they gave out a captain's award to the captains that did good. So our captains got that award, and we got invited to go to Florida to be in the Christmas parade in Disney World. It was a really cool experience to be in the parade, just looking at all the little kids on Main Street in Magic Kingdom. Watching you being in the parade was pretty cool. All the staff working it was super nice. They made the 4-hour practices seem short, not that bad. Learning from all the staff that was working it there, the UCA and the NCA staff, really made it good.
Her sister Maddie also commented on the experience watching Allie prepare for this event.
Allie is very peppy and she brightens everyone's day, and she's really loud. She really likes being a leader and teaching people new things.
If you see Allie, make sure to congratulate her on an amazing performance down in Disney. For WHTV, this is Maddie and Alyssa signing out.
Did that help, Matt?
I mean,
Whatever. You can keep being mad all the time. Not my problem.
I have a huge problem also.
What else is new?
Well, you see, I'm attempting to sneak some people across the border, but if they learn how to pass the citizenship test, I think it'll go well.
What goes on in your life?
I don't know. We should watch a story about the citizenship test for unrelated reasons.
Sure thing, Matt.
Most of us are U.S. citizens by birth and are taught a lot about U.S. history as an education requirement. But what if we weren't citizens? Would we still be able to pass the citizenship test? To become a U.S. citizen, applicants must pass an interview where they are asked 10 questions and they must answer at least 6 of them correctly. We decided to ask 4 of our seniors some of the questions directly from the test to get an idea of whether they could pass it or not. We also talked to Foundations teacher Mr. Fleming to get more information about the test.
We give the citizenship tests to the Foundations classes just as an adjunct to kind of basic understanding that you should know what is expected to be a citizen. Well, I think the notion that we're in this phase of where citizenship seems to have different meaning, different levels of meaning. I think the idea that because we're born here somehow, we're not as knowledgeable or something or whatever it might be. I think there's a kind of basic understanding that we should all share. The students do very well on the citizenship test, generally. They do very well. They do very well from the beginning. But, it might be a question of an A or a B or maybe a C. But they do very well. They pass them easily.
Which of the following is not a branch of the federal government?
Do I just write it? Do I just show it now? It's bad handwriting, but military.
What is the highest court in the United States?
Rockingham County.
We elect a U.S. president to term for how many years?
What?
Oh. Oh.
We elect a member of the House of Representatives for how many years?
I actually knew this one.
How many U.S. senators are there?
100. Right?
Yes. In general, what stops one branch from becoming too powerful?
Checks and balances.
Overall, Winnicott students showed a general understanding of what's required for the test. For WHTV, this is Maddie and Catherine signing out.
Thanks for instilling the knowledge of our great country upon me. Oh, whoa, what's wrong?
I'm being cyberbullied.
Just turn your phone off.
Matt, it's a real problem.
Change my mind then.
This week, the DigCit focus brought to students by the library is cyberbullying. All throughout the week, students participated in activities to further educate themselves and spread awareness on the severity of cyberbullying nationwide. Within the last 9 years, cyberbullying-related deaths have risen by 15%, and reports of cyberbullying have risen by 26%, according to the Cyberbullying Research Center.
I believe you now.
Really? You're usually pretty stubborn about these things.
Yeah, it's pretty story about Gen Z versus Millennial.
What was that transition?
Oops, thought I had to write in boring transitions to stories like everyone else does.
Well, now that we're on the topic, Nadia and Josie can tell us more about Gen Z versus Millennials.
Commonly misconstrued, the millennial generation ranges from ages 23 to 38. Our generation of students ranges from ages 3 to 23 and is referred to as Generation Z. Known as the Snapchat generation, 80% of us got our first cell phone between the ages of 11 and 13. However, we were the first generation to have access to smartphones when we were born. On the other hand, referred to as the net generation, our teachers, parents, or older siblings grew up without smartphones. I know, shocking. However, because of this, they are now able to hold a whopping 12-second attention span compared to our 8-second. Each generation had its own trends, fads, and differences. We wanted to see how much each generation knew about each other. Which one of these apps is Musical.ly?
Oh, the bottom right one.
The top right?
The bottom left.
Bottom right.
Go with the M, the one in the right upper hand corner.
The bottom right.
Top right.
Who is this famous YouTuber?
Jake Paul.
Oh my God, what's his name? Logan Paul.
I don't watch YouTube for fun.
He looks like a Jared.
He looks like Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell.
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
What are these called?
Silly bands.
Silly bands. Knew it?
They look like things that you would use to make cookies. Cookie cutters?
They're little sticky things that turn into bracelets. Silly bands! Yeah. They're silly bands!
Animal shapes.
Silly bands.
Silly bands.
Silly bands.
What online game is this from?
This Webkins?
It's Webkins.
Yeah.
Duh.
I don't know, the newer version of Sims.
I have no idea. Is that like Candy Crush?
Something Webkins. Because it says Webkins on it.
Oh, Webkins.
Dragon Kingdom or something? Little Shop of Pets or something?
What is the emoji on Snapchat you get when you're best friends?
It's the yellow heart.
I'm not on Snapchat.
I don't think I've ever had that. Smiley face?
I have it. Maybe I don't have any best friends. Like a giant smile face?
Is it a happy face? Because I'm happy when I have friends.
Yellow heart.
What player of what sport famously announced to the world he contracted HIV virus and went on to start multiple charities and foundations to support research for it?
Magic Johnson.
Tom Brady. Oh, that one was Michael Jordan.
Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson, I said that, didn't I?
Magic Johnson?
Magic Johnson? Basketball.
Magic Johnson basketball.
Ice Cube. Soccer, I think.
Which of these photos was the most notable women's fashion trend in the 90s?
I'd say bottom right one, the jeans.
I'm gonna say low rise.
The low-waisted pants.
Low-waisted pants?
Leg warmers.
I think leg warmers?
To feed a Furby, you must either poke its stomach, stick a finger in its mouth, or squeeze foot.
Squeeze foot.
Stick your finger in its mouth.
Yeah.
Really?
You press its mouth.
Don't you squeeze its hand?
Squeeze its hand.
Stick a finger in its mouth.
What is this character's name and what movie is he from?
What actor is that? Robin Williams. Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's Betty Crocker from Indiana Jones.
Looks like George Washington. Dude, I have no idea.
Robin Williams, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams.
It's Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mary Poppins. Who's Mary Poppins?
Who is this and what was her famous #1 single in the 90s?
Whitney Houston. I Will Always Love You.
Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You.
Whitney Houston. And I will always love you.
That's Whitney Houston. My heart will go on.
I'm gonna go with Michael Jackson.
I have no clue who that is.
I'm gonna have to say Rihanna.
Wow, the generations knew a lot more about each other than I thought they would. You're right. We hope you learned a lot about our generation and the millennial generation. From WHTV, this is Nadia and Josie.
That was cool. Which generation are we again?
Do you ever pay attention?
Yeah, in fact, I pay most attention to my career and what I want to do in life, which is why everyone should have gone to the career fair yesterday. Yesterday, there was a career fair in the gym. Many local businesses were in attendance like the Old Salt, the Fire Department, Matt Parker Photos, and many more. Students were able to go around in different tables and see what career paths could potentially interest them for life after college. It was great to see everyone there, and I hope all who attended gained a little extra look into what their future may hold.
Yeah, it was really great. Any idea on what you want to do, Matt?
Oh, sorry, what?
Take your AirPods out.
Sorry, I don't speak broke.
Wow. Shade.
Oops.
Well, at least tell me you're using Spotify.
No way. Apple Music for sure.
Why? Spotify is definitely more popular.
I'm not so sure I agree with you.
I'm willing to bet that the students in this school use Spotify more than Apple Music.
Well, I know the answer. I asked students around the school about their preference. Take a look.
You've heard of Xbox versus PS4, Coke versus Pepsi, Netflix versus Hulu. Since the world of streaming music has become so popular, another age-old debate has arrived. Apple Music versus Spotify. As of November 2018, Apple Music has roughly 56 million subscribers compared to Spotify's 87 million. Spotify's graph is a much steeper advance over the years, so if this trend continues, Spotify will continue to be the most used service. Let's see what the students had to say about this debate.
Spotify.
Apple Music.
Apple Music. Apple Music. Spotify. Spotify. Apple Music. SoundCloud.
Apple Music for sure.
Spotify. Check out my playlist. Nick Music.
I use Apple Music. Spotify is for people who have lesser amounts of cash flow.
Spotify. I spit everywhere.
Spotify.
Spotify. Spotify.
SoundCloud? That's not an option. I do kind of rock with Apple Music. Yeah, Apple Music for sure.
Apple Music.
I like Spotify.
Neither. I use Google Play Music for all those Google people out there.
I use Spotify.
I've never used Spotify, so Apple Music.
Spotify.
After the 20 responses, Spotify had 55% of the respondents saying that they use that service. After looking through some statistics and a sample of students at Winnicott, it seems to me that Spotify might be the superior service in this debate. For WHTV, Matt Fiorentini.
See, I told you Spotify was more popular.
Interesting. I didn't know popular was in your vocabulary.
On that note, that's all we have for you today.
Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Perfect.
Give me the bottle. That doesn't make any sense. Like, that just makes the bare minimum of
Wait,
sense.
I thought we... You're supposed to like.
Am I supposed to do something? I thought I was just on my phone.
Slam your phone on the desk.
Oh. That definitely did not do it.
Hit the what?
I feel Nadia!
Stop. What generation are we again? That was cool. That was cool. That was cool. If I got a lip tat,